The chains have been removed, and you are at a new beginning on today's Oblyron divination. Greetings, everyone. I am Oblyron, Lord of the Underworld and consort to the most lovely Hecate. Thank you for joining me on today's Elemental Synastry Reading. It is a divination technique which was bestowed upon me by the goddess upon our sacred marriage, and it involves the 5 elements, the tarot, and astrology. I draw a tarot card to see what is influencing each of the elements, and the first element that we draw a card for is spirit, which is represented by the bell. Now this is a timeless collective reading, so take what resonates and discard what doesn't. And if you do happen to resonate with this message, then feel free to leave a comment or like or subscribe. And if you're really interested in what I'm doing, feel free to check out the extended reading or perhaps order your own personal reading on the Discord server in the link below. Okay, love, so what is influencing spirit? We have the Inverted Devil. All right. Yeah, so this is really about a time of liberation. This is about a time of feeling a release from what was holding us back. The devil in the upright position usually suggests some type of bondage or some type of soul contract. And in the inverted position, we're having the release of bondage, the release of soul contracts. We are having the ability to say that, the sky is the limit. Anything goes in spirit. And this is pretty much the energy that has been coming to us. Let's see, as of right now, this recording is in April of 2026. So, we're kind of in the year of the fire horse. It's been a year that a lot of people have anticipated a lot of action. This is a timeless collective reading, so if this resonates with you, then it resonates with you. But during this year, it was supposed to be very special in the fact that, we were discarding the past to go into the future, especially coming out of the year of the snake. So this is just confirmation in spirit that so much is changing. So much has been lifted, and we are getting to a point to where, we pretty much have the entire universe in the palm of our hands. We have the ability to create anything right now. At least this is what spirit is saying so far. The chains have been lifted. The self-imposed restrictions are gone, and now anything is possible. Okay, so let's take a look at what the astrology die have to say to that. So the astrology die can recommend possible advice or likely outcomes of this particular scenario. And what we have is, we have the North Node in Taurus in the 3rd house. Okay, so I roll once for the house, and I roll a second time for the decan. Okay, so we are in the last decan of Taurus. Okay, let me line this up real quick. In the 3rd house. Yeah, so that 3rd house ruled by Gemini, it has to deal a lot with our communication, sometimes with our siblings, sometimes just in general. Our ability to communicate our wants, desires, and needs, and the ability to say it. They say, you don't open your mouth, you don't get fed, type of attitude. Now with this, we have the North Node in the last decan of Taurus. Now, the last decan of Taurus is the Lord of unfulfilled success, and that is guided by Saturn. That is the 7 of Pentacles energy. That is that very slow and steady progress. We are always planting our garden. We are always sowing the seeds. We're always preparing to build something for the future. You know, that's that type of energy. That the energy is very slow to grow. It onsets slowly. It has to deal, a lot of times it has to deal with, like, let's say, success in middle age type of thing. Like, that's what you're working towards. You're working towards success towards the latter half of your life. Not always necessarily the latter half of your life, but a very long and drawn out sense of what success is. And what this means is that, you know, this has been a long time coming, stepping into our North Node. With Spirit clearing out all the chains, with Spirit moving out all the restrictions, that pretty much allows us to manifest into our North Node. And this has been a long time coming, especially with that third decan of Taurus. We may be feeling the need to more better be able to speak our minds, better be able to express ourselves, and we may feel the need to assert ourselves more too. And this may be a little bit of a newer feeling, but it is a very necessary feeling for us to be able to step into our North Node, and to be able to freely embrace what Spirit has to offer us. Wow, very, very powerful reading so far. Curious to see what the rest of it is. Okay, so let's move along to fire, which is represented by the wand. It can represent our drives, ambitions, desires, things of that nature. And what do we have, love? What do we have? What is influencing fire? Okay. The Magician. Wow. Very powerful reading so far. Okay. Yeah. But it's so odd how these readings go. I would say for a good half of last year, you know, all these readings were coming out kind of, you know, there was a hook or a catch or something to it. But this so far, and with the last couple of readings I've been doing, also some personal readings, I found that they've been very polarized into wanting to do action, wanting to make things happen. They're very auspicious readings too. There's usually no hang-ups or catches. So, I mean, we have the Magician, which is influencing the element of fire. Basically, we can manifest whatever we want right now. Whatever our drives and ambitions are, whatever our drives and ambitions are calling towards us, and really, really, what we want to do, we can manifest right now. Wherever we put our mind to it, wherever we put our drives to it, it's like with the chains being lifted also in Spirit, the sky's the limit. We have the ability to step into one of our most powerful manifestation moments, the ability to pretty much create the reality that we want, to realign and reorganize how we view things, both from an internal perspective to also shape the external perspective, because the Magician is the master of all the elements. You know, it's not just about thinking about something. It's not just about, you know, having the money to do something. It's about having everything. It's about having the innovation, the resources, the vision, and of course the drive and the know-how to do all these things. So that is pretty much what's happening in the element of fire right now. All right, and it makes sense, especially with Spirit, you know, pretty much lifting the chains. All right, let's see. So the astrology die, what do they have to say? We have Neptune in Gemini in the 6th house. So a lot of Gemini energy, and also with Virgo here in that 6th house, leading, I should say, being the ruler of that house. A lot of earth energy, especially earth energy with patience. Virgo's a perfectionist, and then we also have this third decan of Taurus energy, which is also about patience as well. So lots of themes with patience and communication. It seems like is what we're having. Okay, so we have the Neptune in the third decan of Gemini. So that's the Lord of Ruin, and it's actually an excellent card in the tarot. It's a Ten of Swords energy. And, regardless of whether it's in the inverted or upright position, I think the Ten of Swords energy is a very liberating energy. It means that we've come to the end of a cycle. If it were in the upright position, it means we still have to release whatever it is. But at least we know that we have to release something. And if it were in the inverted position, then, it's already released. Well, this is basically saying, okay, we're at the end of that cycle. We're at the end of the cycle of misery, of suffering. And it's interesting because it also coincides with the inverted devil. We have the release of the chains. Here we have the end of the cycle. By harnessing the energies of Virgo, that service to others, hard work, almost perfectionist type of attitude. By harnessing that energy, we can really step into that magician energy as well. And of course, with the Neptune influencing all of that, it's really asking us to dive deep and to step into our inner mystic to really activate all this stuff. So really going in, really doing the work, really doing the inner work to be able to bring out that energy of the magician, to really be able to pretty much fuel our drives and to be able to manifest that. And again, we have near limitless energy and resources right now, especially supporting us in spirit. Excellent. Okay, let's go along to the next element. It is the element of air, which is represented by the sword. Okay, so what is influencing the element of air? All right. Oh my goodness. Okay, Ten of Swords again. So we have the Ten of Swords energy here, and we also have the Ten of Swords energy influencing the element of air in a major way because it's the tarot card that came up. Wow. So, okay, we have a lot of endings here. We have a lot of new beginnings coming in. So, since it is upright, it's amazing how it's just talking about that. Since it is upright, we may still find that there are certain things that still need to be completely released for us to move on, particularly in the element of air, which means, possibly old communication habits, maybe even old contacts. Air can also mean our intellectual pursuits as well. So maybe there could be some outdated or outmoded ways of thinking. That's also another possibility. Maybe it's time to update our playbook a little bit, types of things, either in communication or intellectual pursuits, especially if we're finding that we're not quite getting the results that we want. That would be a good time to move on and to recalibrate. Okay, so, but we are at the end of the cycle with whatever it is that we're dealing with. That's the important thing. So it's either time to move on or it's time to let it all go or whatever it is. Actually, here it's saying move on and let go. We have Pluto in Sagittarius in the 9th house. Wow. Okay, lots of Sagittarian energy, especially with it being in its own house. Okay, let's re-roll for the decan. So we got a 6. So we're in that middle decan of Sagittarius. Okay. Okay, so that's that 9 of Wands energy. The Lord of great strength. It's also influenced by the moon, And so I would say that for this, especially to come to grips with the Ten of Swords energy, which may still be influencing us, it's time to look into the deep emotional levels. It's time to look into maybe those last little crevasses that we did not want to look into, and just dive a little bit more into that inner world to pretty much just clean out the last of it, or at least acknowledge the last of it, or whatever's there. We're guided. Pluto's the influencing planet there too, so it's almost like a call for a transformation, a call for an ending to a lot of things too. We're at an ending, so it's time to take all those lessons from that ending and to just transform it, transmute it into something else, transmute it into sacred knowledge, which is why it's all in Sagittarius. Transmute it into something which can help us expand, which is very expansive, help us look at things in a different way. And again, it's also the Lord of great strength, so that's what we've been through, being at the end of this journey. It's been taxing, it's been trying. That's why we're at the Ten of Swords. That's why we're at the end of the dark times. And also with that Nine of Wands energy, we've also fought the good fight. Or we fought the good fight. We faced our battles. We confronted it head on. So now we're at a position of advantage. Now we're at a position of being able to really just see things with a little bit more clarity, and in taking all that clarity and everything, we're transforming it into something which is going to be very beneficial for this next chapter of our life. Remember, every ending has a new beginning, and we're definitely going into a new beginning with something here. Let me check the timer. Okay, cool. Excellent. All right, let's move along to the element of Earth, which is represented by the Pentacles, and it can represent our material and spiritual wealth, the ground we walk on, the foundations, all those types of things. It can also be the process of transmuting the spiritual to the material too. That power involved with that. The power of Pentacles. Okay, so what is influencing the element of Pentacles, love? Alright. Alright, so yes, Lord of Discontent. Or I should say it's a discontent card. It's really about actually it's the Lord of Blended Pleasure, not Discontent. So pretty much what we're having is, we're off on our own. We kind of want to be alone. The people around us could want, they could want to help us out. But we may be making it difficult for them to help us out. This is very figurative. It's not necessarily literal that I'm getting, but it's the type of energies. So maybe there's a lot of abundance that we're not seeing. Maybe there is a lot of help that is coming our way that we're not seeing. Perhaps the help that has arrived, we don't necessarily see it as help. We see it more of maybe something else, not necessarily a hindrance, but it's one of those things. It's a bit like looking a gift horse in the mouth. So it all really depends. That's that energy of that Four of Cups. Sometimes the Four of Cups is a bit social. Sometimes the Four of Cups is not social. Wants to be alone. So it's that type of energy. And when it comes to that element of Pentacles, what we could be finding is, we're at this, since we're in this kind of transition area, especially with the element of air, we could possibly be feeling the need to maybe even change up our social circles a little bit. We're not feeling the need to want to go out as much or to socialize as much, or perhaps even feeling the need to to just isolate and be alone for a while. And that would involve wanting to, it could be involved in wanting to have that isolation from people, but also it could be be in the situation of wanting to maybe detox from technology too. Just going into a bit of solitude to be able to kind of put the reset button on things, and to be able to realize, where the individual begins and where the outside world intersects with that. So that's a lot of that energy, is sort of reestablishing boundaries, especially with the energy of Pentacles influencing that. Okay, so let's see what what the astrology die have to say to that. Alright, so we got the North Node in Scorpio in the 11th house. Lots of North Nodes. Lots of lots of North Nodes. Okay, let's see what the decan is. So we're in that middle decan of Scorpio, and we're also in the 11th house. Okay. So, it's really interesting. So here we have this whole community wanting to come around and really wanting to support us. And the fact that it's the middle decan of Scorpio suggests that it's a lot of people from our past. So maybe past friendships, family, everything about the past. A lot of people of our past. They want to say that they are there for us, and essentially it's also reconciling with the past, which also helps us to go into the future, it's actually it's a very common statement, that they always say that when they chart success, statistically speaking, people who get along with people throughout their entire lives, this is friends and family, and who are able to maintain social networks and establish those connections throughout their lives, that generally leads to a little bit more success because of, or I should say a little bit more fulfillment and success because of that networking involved. It's like being able to, it's about being able to truly understand how people are sort of a mirror to us, how we shouldn't really take anything personal, all these types of things, and coming to a lot of realizations of how people are just people, and regardless of whatever happened in the past, people are still there. They still want to contribute, they still want to help, and there's a whole community there. There's a whole community of people from the past who want to do that. This could even possibly be spirit guides too, but I see a lot of reconciliation with the past to be able to move forward. That seems to be the big theme with that. All right, cool. So let's move along to the last element, which is water, represented by the cups. So water represents our intuition, our emotions. Yes, the inner mystical depths. Water can be a very psychic element. I should say it is a very psychic element. All right, let's see. What do we have going on for water? Okay, so we have the inverted Three of Pentacles. Now, perhaps on an emotional level, we may not feel like we are where we want to be right now, especially career-wise. And that actually makes sense. So we have all this stuff. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So it's almost like we have this sort of spiral to freedom. You know, we have these problems at work, or maybe we're not feeling on a deep emotional level that we are where we need to be in life. And so, you know, okay, well, how do we get out of this? Okay, well, now let's go and take a look at the Pentacles. Well, it's saying basically to reconcile with the past. Okay, well, what's after that? Okay, well, if we look at the energy of air, well, now that's also means that we're at the end of a cycle. And then, of course, we have all kinds of power coming in with the element of fire, and then, of course, all this power coming in with spirit. So it all stems... It feels like the whole thing it's going to spiral down and it's going to spiral out. And what I mean by that is we're going to find an increase in finances, in work satisfaction, in, I would say, even life purpose satisfaction because of this opening in spirit. The opening in spirit is going to kind of create this vortex going down to strike us at the emotional level, and then that joy or that fulfillment in the emotional level is also going to spiral back up to kind of reinforce the spiral coming down. Yeah, and it's all connected. This has a very interesting feel to this particular reading. Yeah, it's the first time I ever felt a spiral in this reading. Okay, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Let's see, okay. 6th house again. Yeah, a lot of Virgo energy. Okay. Okay, Mars in... Uh-oh, did I say that was Virgo? Yes. Oh, no. Oh, man. Well, let's re-roll this again. I forgot to see. Oh, Gemini again. Okay. Well, yeah, I lost the first one. I guess it'll be what it'll be. So, it's Gemini, so I guess Gemini is meant to be. Okay, let's re-roll for the decan. All right. And then let's line this up. Okay, so we have Mars in Gemini, I should say the first decan Gemini. Okay, so that particular energy, that first decan of Gemini energy is about restriction, and when our Mars is in that, a lot of our drive and ambition can feel a little bit restricted, which makes sense because, you know, look at how we're feeling on that emotional level right there. You know, we're feeling like we're not where we gotta be. And the root cause of that is really because we feel like perhaps our ambitions have been restricted in some way. Now, with it being in the house of Virgo, or the 6th house, some possible explanations would be taking too much of a perfectionist stance, waiting for things to be a little bit too perfect before, let's say, launching that project, or you know, making that post or whatever. So this is really also about letting go of that perfection to kind of get rid of that restriction as well, and to be able to create more feelings of abundance, and also being able to channel this abundance which is coming in too. So we have all this energy which is essentially freed up. It's freed up. We're at the end of a cycle, and look what this here in the emotional, in the element of water, that this restriction that we've been feeling, let's say with career wise or money wise, or even, you know, project wise, these restrictions, that's coming to an end too. So we're at the end of a cycle where we have what we need to be able to move on, and we have essentially all this power, which you know, from spirit, it's saying, you know, we have your back. Here, excuse me for a moment. Okay. All right. So let's see if we got anything else happening here. 30, 69. Okay, looks like we got a trine between the element of water and the element of air. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. It would reinforce this end of the cycle right here. It's saying, okay, you're at the end of the cycle. It's time to transform. It's time to transmute. It's time to move on. And that trined with this is really going to help to expand again on whatever is ailing us in terms of how we feel about where we're at in life. So it's going to really kick in those emotions, and it's really going to expand on how we feel about that, making us feel better about where we've been, maybe not beating ourselves up so much. And once we start to really feel that within ourselves, and realizing that the worst is over, okay, well, guess what? Those two elements are gonna synchronize a little bit better. They're going to line up a little bit better. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, and we also got the trine here too between Earth and Spirit and Fire. And I'm not surprised about that. So that's actually creating a very powerful energy between those two, because Spirit was about the devil and the chains being released, and Fire was about the magician and being able to manifest pretty much anything. So the fact that they're trined only means that those energies are amplified even more. Now's an excellent time to really be able to harness those abilities and to really take, really take it to the next level. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, not trines, sextiles. In fact, because we got the trine right here. Okay, yeah. All right, so yeah, these two are sextiled, and these two are sextiled. It's almost like a trine. It's based off of the factor of 3. So yes, still very amplified, still very potent. Now this is a trine right here, and yeah, that one, yeah, it would suggest that it's interesting because these are also the North Node ones. So yeah, I'm thinking if we look at this is really about, reconciling with the past. So the reason why a lot of these chains were imposed was because of not being able to reconcile with the past. So that's a very important issue here too. Again, these energies are trined, and both of them are represented by the North Node. So yeah, this right here, this element of Earth, and being able to truly, if there's anything which may still be a bit of a hang-up or anything within that particular element, yeah, that would have to be really looked at to really amplify that energy of Spirit. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? We've got, yeah. All right, well, I guess I'll leave it there for now. Again, if you resonated with this message, then feel free to leave a like, subscribe, or comment. Let us all know how you resonate with it, or even head on over to the Discord. I'll be doing the extended reading for that, just to get a little bit more clarification on exactly what we may need to free up in here. And again, see if this is more career-based or if this is more maybe project-based, things like that. Just a little bit more clarification on certain things. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, may Hecate illuminate your path and guide you at the crossroads.